Okay, so we are back again um, to work on some more cueing. And today I'm going to be doing a flow focused on the hips. So if your hips are feeling tight, you are in the right place. Or if you're just feeling like emotionally congested, because your hips store a lot of your emotional life. They get stuck in your hips, basically. So today we're going to start sitting cross-legged or on your knees, however feels most comfortable to you. And you can just start rocking back and forth and feeling how your sit bones are making contact with the earth. And you can start slowly paying more attention to your breath and maybe roll your head a couple of times, do a little bit of wiggling until you've kind of come to a calm and centered place. And then you can start focusing on your breath. Just observing it. And as you're dropping in, you can start to notice exactly where in your hips might be feeling tight, where in the rest of your body might be feeling tight. And we're going to actually start today seated. So when you're ready, you can sit with your legs out in front of you like this. And we're going to start by pointing our toes and then flexing them. Point the toes and then flex them. And we're just going to do this a few times. And then we're going to begin lifting a leg up off the ground. And we can do 3 and then alternate. Paying attention to how it feels in the joints. And we're going to do the same thing with our wrists, going from all the way down to all the way up. And then we can rotate them a little bit and switch directions. And we're going to do the same thing with our ankles. We can rotate, pick up the leg and rotate, or keep it on the ground if that's more comfortable. And then switch directions. And once you feel like you've rolled out one joint, you can switch to the other side. And notice where in the rotation it becomes more difficult, where it cracks, where it pops. Once you've done both sides, you can set them back down on the ground. And we're just going to reach down and touch our toes. This is just a light stretch. We're not going to go too far into the hamstrings yet, just getting it warmed up. And you can make sure you're keeping your back straight and folding forward with the chest. If you can't reach your toes, then holding at the knees is fine, just leaning forward. And next, what we're going to do is a little bit of pigeon. So we're going to fold that front leg and then extend your left leg out behind you, and you'll feel a stretch in that front hip flexor. Keeping your chest high, your gaze up or out. Feel into that hip stretch you're getting. And then we're going to send both legs back and drop into the chaturanga to up dog. And then we're going to meet in down dog on an exhale. And this is where we're going to take big circles with our left leg first. You can go bent knee or straight. Try to keep your base strong. We don't want to fold in at the shoulders. We don't want to collapse into one side. And then come back to center. And this time we're going to draw our left leg forward and do pigeon on the other side. Whoop, I'm under an apple tree. Same thing here. We're just breathing into the hip flexor. Exhaling, sinking a little deeper. And then when you're ready, we're going to meet in a sports straddle fold. So both legs, feet parallel, and we're going to fold down, trying to keep that back straight as long as possible. And we can go alternating sides, skandasana, if that feels good. And then we're just going to meet back in a sword fold here. Grab the ankles if you want, but wherever your hands feel most comfortable. And we can start to do some hip circles here. Just noticing where it feels tight, where it might click. Inhaling, exhaling through any tightness we're feeling. And then we're going to walk our feet in and meet in Malasana, yogic squat. And we can push the knees out if that feels good. You can put a block under your butt if necessary. And you can put your hands in prayer. That's what's most comfortable for me. And we're just going to stay here for a few breaths, noticing the sensations in our hips. And then we're going to come back forward, get on all fours here. And we're going to start doing some hip rotation. So we're not going to do the usual cat-cow in this position. We're going to go around and get off the railroad tracks here a little bit. Make sure you go both directions, however feels most comfortable for you. And then we're going to slowly start walking the knees out. And we're going to get into a frog pose here. The goal here is to keep your knees at a 90-degree angle and to have your hips be perfectly straight across. So you don't want to really scooch forward until you're flat. You don't want to scooch all the way back until you're flat. What you want to do is keep it perfectly perpendicular there. And you can come down to the elbows if that feels good, or stay up on the hands or get a block or something. And then you're going to take your ankles and you're actually going to push them into the earth. And then exhale and try to sink a little bit deeper. You're focusing on the exhales here, really letting go of anything that happened today, trusting that your body's not going to let you go farther than you can. You're exhaling. This is a very intense position. That's why we warmed up the hips before getting into it. Keep exhaling. Notice anywhere that your body is holding tension right now. Maybe it's in your face or your shoulder, your core, pelvic region. Wherever that is, try to make a conscious effort to exhale it out. Sinking lower with each exhale. And when you're ready to come out, you can start working those knees in. And we're going to come back into a seated position. And what we're going to do next, I've got a cat here coming to visit. That's all. What we're going to do next is a little fire log stack with our knees. So making as close to 90 as you can with the one knee, and then stack your other leg over it. And if you can bend forward, then feel free to do so on an exhale. And then we're just gonna switch which leg is on the top. Folding forward if it feels good on an exhale. And then we're going to take the legs out in front and fold forward, get into those hamstrings a little bit more. Good girl. You can grab the feet, grab the ankles, whatever feels good. Just make sure we're not rounding in the back. We want to be sitting up tall. With each exhale, getting the chest just a little bit closer to the knees. And you can think about flexing your quads as you stretch the hamstrings. Those are two more muscles that work together. And then we're just going to come back to sitting cross-legged or on your knees, whatever feels most comfortable. And we can raise the arms up overhead, looking up. Exhale, palms into prayer. Thank you all for joining. Let me know what you think of my hip cues and the sequence in general. Namaste. You're good, girl.